Yeah, what's up? This is Red River Podcast, episode Who the Fuck Knows? Today I get to hang out on a one-on-one with my friend here, Greg from the band Secret Gardens, right?
Hello, yes, that is correct.
All right, cool. As I was telling you before we started recording, um, I just happened to be at an AMH show, and my friend Mike manages the band Common Sage. And
Gotcha.
you guys were playing, and it's funny because when I went through my emails that I was getting from the PR company that you guys have, I put two and two together. I was like, holy shit, I think this is the band that they were talking about. So it all just kind of
Yeah.
worked out anyway. But anyway, so are you guys you're in a band called Secret Garden, so let's just kind of get familiarized with that first. Like, are you a Long Island band, New York band? What's the deal?
I was born and raised on Long Island, lived in the city for a while and here and there and whatnot. And it pretty much started out as like my bedroom project in like 2019. I was in another band at the time that was a little more like active and busy, and I didn't want it to like detract from that band, so I kind of was just like making stuff when I had extra time.
What band?
From
What band was that?
I
I'm just
started
curious.
a band called Vista.
Okay.
Yeah, so in like 2018, I started making stuff for Secret Gardens, just kind of as like a no rules, do whatever you want, have fun kind of vibe. And so I did that and enjoyed it a lot. And then I got to a point where I put out my first like kind of collection of songs. And for a while, I had this huge overarching like goal one day to put out a record that sonically represented each season. So like a series of four records, called like a tetra. Well, it's called the tetralogy when you do that, like a series of four works. So yeah, I started out with the summer one as my first record for the project, and then like that, it was very much just like a hey, I'm gonna put this on the internet and see what happens kind of thing, and then yeah, over I don't know, then the pandemic pretty much happened right after that. So yeah, then people kind of like started finding it here and there on like a small level, but enough to where people were like, "Yo, like this is really cool. Like I dig it."
So that's
And then that
interesting.
band,
I'm going to stop you there
yeah.
because that's interesting because for the most part, like I play music, everyone plays music, and you throw stuff into the ether and no one ever gives a shit. So how were people finding it?
I was promoting it. I was trying my best to promote it via like not just via posting about it on my own social media. Like I posted about it a few times, but I was trying to like get it on like playlists and YouTube channels that featured like a similar genre because it was very much a departure from the kind of music I was in with that other band. And it was kind of just yeah, it was just like more in that post-rock kind of instrumental ambient world to start. It's kind of evolved and ebbed and flowed here and there since the first collection of songs. But yeah, I just kind of did work over the pandemic because no one had anything but time really. So I was just like doing some work to get the record I worked hard on to hear, it was like not a monumental thing. It was like I went from like 10 monthly listeners to like 100 and I was like, "Oh shit, like that's cool."
It
And
is
then
cool.
make like
Yeah.
I don't know, like a year later it was like 500 and I was like, "Okay, this is pretty cool." Like I guess people like it and it was like consistent, right? It wasn't like going like up to 500 and then down to 10. It was like a consistent Spotify whatever growth. And not that
Yeah.
Spotify is the only metric for
No, no,
success.
no, no. But it's super important, man. It really is. And I've seen, and I'm sure you've seen, and listen. I get it. Sometimes you jump on these playlists or these like botted things, and it's just like,
Yeah,
you'll see somebody at like 8,000 one week and then 30 the next, and it's like,
right.
don't do that
Yeah, I
because
was
it
trying
just,
to avoid all that.
yeah, because it like makes your ego feel good, and you're like, oh, maybe people are listening, but deep down inside, you're like, no, they're not. Like that's
Yeah,
not the way it works. It's like you have to do the organic thing, like you did, and whenever you see jumps and it's like organic, it feels good. It's like, man, it's like, okay, this is the way to do it. And then sometimes Spotify pushes you. It's just, I think like we're all learning.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an ever-changing kind of thing. So I was just honestly, I had time and it was the pandemic, so I was having like the most fun I could figuring it out and getting it in front of people's ears. And then I was also working on new music after that first record, which was the winter installment, which came out during like the winter time of the pandemic. Um,
Were these like
so yeah,
were these like feelings that you had like right if so because it seems like an ambitious thing to do, right? It's like I want to write four
oh
EPs
yeah, there
for
is.
so basically were you feeling certain ways anytime these seasons came? Is that what it was, or you were just you figured you'd break it up into four?
Absolutely. No, it's all like all of it is basically like checkpoints and like me like crystallizing memories that I've had sorted by the season. So like over the years and over my life, like I don't know, I have like memories of good days and bad days and whatever the fuck, and all the winter versions of that were like things I was trying to channel on the winter record, for example. And then like the spring record Everbloom was not solely this, but a lot of it was like written in Nashville where I had like a really good time, and I wrote it in the spring with a drummer friend of mine, and like it was just like the pandemic was kind of on quote unquote on its way out, and like people were starting to do things again, and like shows were starting to happen like slowly, and it it seemed more real that people were gonna like get back to quote unquote their normal lives. So yeah, I was having like some really positive experiences, so I kind of documented those in sonic form. And all of it is just like check marks of places I've been emotionally. Using not using words most times, but sometimes using words now with the new record is where I started singing a little bit more and like throwing
Yeah,
more
yeah.
lyrics on.
So, because I noticed like the first thing that you put out compared to the last thing, which is the one we'll talk about, was the Impermanent Amber. There's still three
Hmm.
instrumental songs on there if I counted correctly. Um,
Yes, yeah.
but
Yeah, I say like 3.5 because, but anyway, I'm getting in the
yeah,
weeds here.
no, for sure. Are you upset that Weezer took your idea years later for their seasons albums?
Did they? Are they doing that?
Yeah, they did. They did like maybe like last year. They did like all the four seasons.
Oh, I mean that it wasn't that good because I didn't hear
They
about it.
they took your idea. Fuck those guys.
No, someone else did it before me actually. Another band. I don't remember their name. I I don't know.
No, no,
anyone can do it. Anyone can do it if they wanted to. It's
yeah.
personal and unique to me, honestly. I think it's the best example of like really translating the emotion and feel and mindset and vibe of each season. Minus the summer record, which was like my first experiment. I actually want to go and redo and re-record that record, but it's a good try. I do think the winter, spring, and fall record are like pretty damn, good at representing and really translating to me like what it is, but I'm biased as fuck, so.
Yeah, yo, so like it's funny you say about like re-recording stuff, right? Because as we get older and we start putting out more stuff, like you do, I do sometimes go back and I'm like, man, I wish I could re-record whatever I did like 15 years ago, whatever it is. So,
Yeah.
how do you how do you make peace with that? Do you just kind of like let it go? Because I mean, you have a lot of output for this project, and I would say what 5 years it's been, right?
Yeah, I've done a good amount. I don't know. It still feels like not enough compared to other bands, which is crazy.
You think
But
so? I think it's pretty
yeah,
stacked. Yeah. And
I
you're making
yeah, I
albums.
guess yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. I have I don't know. I guess I haven't had a full-time job really many points in my life because I've really tried to pursue music and anything that supports music and like doesn't detract from it while still like getting me money and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. I,
That-
I'm just operating off vibes half the time.
Yeah, and the thing with you too that I notice is like, where some people make these, 3-minute pop songs. You're very involved. Like these are like compositions for the most part that really take a lot, I would imagine, to like put together. So, for a guy like
Hmm.
you, where did it all begin? Like what were some of the things that, you could have just said, "Hey, I want to be Fountains of Wayne and write these like pop songs," but you're kind of doing a little bit more than that. So like what was the inspiration to just like kind of have the chops that you do?
Mm. Um, it's funny. I feel like there's people who have such crazy chops compared to me, and I feel like like easy and chilled and laid back compared to them. But yeah, I know it's not like your typical pop music. I do love pop music a lot, and I incorporate elements of that where I see fit.
No, you
And
do. Yeah, yeah.
there's no rules really with Secret Gardens. Like I could go ahead and make a pop song if I wanted to, tomorrow, and I would put it out on another project because it's like kind of my thing, led by me, and I would just be like, "Yep, that's what I'm doing." Anyway, um, I I don't know. I think I started to, not that I'm this trailblazer or anything, but I feel like I've started to just see the writing on the wall of genres really like starting to erode in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
day and age, music and digital music and Spotify and all, and just the way it is so easy to discover all these bands and all these subcultures and subgenres. There's a few like markets that are very like strict into they don't welcome like sound innovation as much. Like I feel like the country world is not very uh leaning or open to like innovation sound wise, but I think I've seen the writing on the wall for years that like rock music has been like wanting people to change shit up. And I'm not like the patron saint of changing shit up in rock music. I've just I don't know, from whatever point when I realized that, it made me just not scared to just like totally like combine weird shit or have like this kind of song on a record and then this kind of song, and they relate a little bit and they have some common threads, but they're not like the same genre, right? So I've just started to enjoy shit like that more as a listener too. Um, like for example, I mean, I don't know, it's just listening to Sleep Token in the car again today for like the 80th time, and the way they blend like five different genres at any point is so sick.
You could say
And I
like
just find it interesting to
Tame
listen to.
Impala, like late, earlier Tame Impala stuff, like like
Yes.
Flaming Lips, even like as they evolved with their sound. But it's funny that you do say that, and that is a really interesting point because there's two things that I noticed. uh yeah, there is like this melting of genres, and also another thing that you do incorporate on this new record, which is something that I love because I've been trying to do it for a while myself, is the feature. The
Mm.
feature's heavy, so it's like
Yeah.
you collaborate with artists, right? So let me just skip there because there's a lot of like collaboration on the last album that you guys put out. So like what was the idea with that? It was just like, let's just do it, and like all these
Mm.
all these artists, there's a lot of people on there. And you said you could do whatever you want, right? So you take like a song like The Coven, which is probably the heaviest song on the album, right?
For
And
sure, yeah.
you're like, I could do whatever I want. And to me, the beginning of I could do whatever I want, because I'm a little bit older, I guarantee you, was Smashing Pumpkins. So they were as heavy as they wanted to be. They were as quiet as they wanted to be. They were as electronic as they wanted to be. They were as mid tempo as they wanted to be. So I always
Mhm.
love that, where it's like, I don't want to just write one thing because then I would be super bored. Right.
Yeah. They're a very dynamic artist that I've always appreciated. I've always thought they were really cool, and I've seen them live a couple times, and I've never sat down and listened to a Smashing Pumpkins record front to back, but I definitely will this year. I just really, I've just enjoyed their hit songs and their live performances whenever I'm like able to catch them at a show where they might be like on the bill too. Um, but to circle back to your point here, There's a lot of collaboration on this record. There's a beautiful thing about collaboration when you're open to it. It's you can start to I don't know, it's this I was maybe a little scared of it coming up in music because I was like, oh no, I'm gonna work with someone and we're not gonna work well and they're gonna take over
Yeah.
the song or
Yeah.
and I
That's
don't know, I
real.
feel like if you talk about what you want a little bit before going into it, you can kind of go from there and see if you're a good fit and if the person you want to collaborate with even has like space to work on something. But yeah, I honestly just shooted my shot, shot my shot. But a lot of these people who I'm collaborating with are dear friends of mine personally, so I think that's something beautiful. They're people I'm friends with and hang out with, minus one or two. They're people I yeah just hang out with, work with here and there on random stuff, and have been fans of, like the Coven you were talking about with our friends in Grey Bloom, who sadly have broken up now, but when they were active is like one of my favorite bands ever, and we toured with them for a hot minute. They're just like friends of ours, and just I thought they were so talented, and I was just like, let's just work on the heaviest thing possible. I like putting a heavy song on each release, of the seasonal records, at least, because I think each season has its like heavy, intense moments, like from nature and stuff. So
I,
yeah, it
I
was that was a good moment to do that.
I will say, so the Upper Peninsula, right? Another really
Yes,
great song on that. I love.
that's a cover. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
That's
Okay,
a
so
cover.
that's interesting because I thought it was like really great storytelling as far as the cover goes. Um,
I
uh,
wish I told that story. I wish I was that good at song.
okay, because I was gonna say, I'm like, that's a really interesting story compared to like, some of the other themes and stuff. But really, the question that I had attached to that song, aside from, I guess I could ask you who sang it originally, I also wanted to ask you if you had any favorite lyricists.
I do. Yes. I love that you're asking that. I'm trying to make sure that it's credited right on spot. Okay, cool. It is. Yeah.
Okay.
It is a cover. I heard this song originally by Sufjan Stevens, and
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, it's a Sufjan Stevens song. Same name, so you should be able to just type it in and it should pop up. But
Type it up, Surf Jan.
Sufjan. Yeah, I literally just heard that song when I was started to listen to him because I got into him at a later age, maybe four, 3, 4 years ago. I don't know. Um, and then I was like, I don't know, something about it, that song, and it's like beautiful tension with all the like folky kind of instruments. I was like, it was like a sad folk Americana ballad that had this potential to get really heavy and strong, but it like sort of did and sort of didn't. I just found it one of the most like beautiful pieces of music, and I was like this is fall. Like this sounds exactly like autumn, like maybe the colder side of autumn, and not the like perfect temperature, like hoodie weather autumn, but it sounds like a rainy autumn day. Um, and I was like, oh, man, that is such a good song, and it fits my vibe. I can sing it well, and
The
I just it just felt
the girl who
perfect.
sang with you, she was great too on that song. What was her name?
Lisette, yeah, Lisette is
Yeah.
a friend of mine, like an internet friend of mine from Germany. She's an incredible ambient, like kind of post-rock artist with an incredible voice. It's like
Oh,
paralyzingly
sounds
beautiful.
so good on that.
Yeah, her original music is so sick too. I think she just put out a record as well. And she's also like a super outdoorsy mountain climber. We're actually gonna hang out this summer and climb some mountains, which I'm excited about.
Are you a mountain climber?
Yeah, I'm a very outdoorsy kind of naturey person. When I can be, That's like if I go on vacation, it's to be like hiking on a like backpacking trail or something like that.
Interesting.
I'm not like
I'm the
this. I'm
opposite,
not
man.
like
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. It's
I'm
vacation should be relaxing, but I think I don't know. I just have a brain where if I'm not like walking through a forest for like 6 miles, I'm kind of like, what am I doing here? I'm just kind of like get a little stir crazy.
Wow. Yeah, for me, like drop me off at like St. Mark's or some shit. Like I'll
Yeah, yeah, no,
I,
dude, trust me, it's relaxing and I love it. I think part of me just needs the like, oh, I explored and worked out a little bit and now I can go relax for a day or I don't know. There's some deeper psychology there. I'm just not sure what it is.
but I want to backtrack too. So like the band, does it have permanent members? Because I see in the videos that you put out, it seems like the same guys, right? Like for room,
Mostly,
has that been
yeah, it's
difficult? Because I know keeping band members is difficult.
it hasn't been too difficult. I've I try to think about it as like a collective led by me, so I'm the only like permanent member. I try to think about it like other bands like Tycho. It's just that guy, but he pretty much works with the same people on the records and live, and that's how I love to keep it. I like to have like a collective of awesome people I can work on with, but I noticed as like a lot of my friends and myself are in our 30s and whatnot. Like, sometimes commitments are hard to keep and whatnot. And I want to,
Because you do
this
stuff.
project
You're
was
you're
kind of,
you're you're busy, right? So you'll do a tour. It seems like you guys do play out. I know you have like a 4-day thing coming up, so that is a commitment for
yeah,
sure as you get older.
yeah. And I'm not like super into like, I'm super into touring, but like, I'm not like how can I put it? Like in a circuit where a booking agent is like constantly putting us on tours and stuff. That would be fun, but I don't think we're at that point in our career yet, but hopefully soon we are at that point. But what's it called? It's like I try to keep it like low pressure and chill and like, hey, are you guys around? Do you want to play on this day? If you're not around, I can find a sub. It's cool. Like, but I'd love to work with you again. And you know, I try to keep it cool and lax like that instead of like, guys, you need to be here and we need to do this like promo photo shoot and like I need you to like I don't know when I noticed that when I was in a few other bands like relying on people for certain things which are like not fun. Um it's hard to do sometimes, especially if people have other priorities and whatnot. And I kind of just felt okay doing all the like heavy legwork myself with
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah, for
project
sure.
because it's very much like my vision and stuff I've like wanted to write about myself. And so I don't know. It's like a never say never thing. Like maybe there'll be permanent members in the future, but I think it's just easier and everyone is cool where they're at right now. Um,
Don't rock the
and
boat.
like yeah, and like, I obviously I pay people for their time like in studio and on tour and stuff, and I try to make it as like as good as I can make it for people. Even though we're a very, very tiny band, but the main thing is just like the music's fun and it's collaborative and it just is a good vibe for everybody. And if it gets to the point where I want some permanent members who really feel like they absolutely are as passionate about it as me. Like maybe, but I don't know. Like I'm also people sort of see it as my thing. I don't know. I kind of made the bed, so now I'm sleeping in it, but I don't know. I'm just kind of operating day by day with it.
What
It's
what
not
what is
something I ever like planned.
what is the songwriting process for you then? Right? Like so like
Hmm.
you for example, for this last record that you guys put out, well, you put out, um what was the like, for example, for my band, I'll sit here and I'll just like toy around some chords, some melody ideas, and then on Tuesday we'll go to practice and then we'll flesh it out. So how does that
What
work
band are
for you?
you in?
I'm in a band called Playing Dead. I guess that's the dumb name down there.
I have never. You guys are from Long Island. Why haven't I heard of you
Yeah, yeah,
guys?
yeah, yeah.
What? You like out east? Out east?
I live in West Babylon.
Damn, bro, why haven't I heard of you? Well, we should play together.
Yeah, yeah.
You should come to the show on the
Oh,
17th.
you're doing, yes. Is that a golden hour
Best
show
people.
or Scanlon?
It's a golden hour show.
Okay. 17th.
The show in January was the Scanlon show.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. I mean, 17th is definitely. So we're playing on the 12th, which is Saturday, which would make the 17th probably a Thursday.
Thursday is Thursday, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll be there.
Come through, bro. I'd love to see you.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's yeah, I try to just make it as chill and cool as possible because I've been in bands, not naming names, that were very not fun and felt like work, and that's what I don't want. Like it's work to me because I love this stuff and it's like me uh feeling that catharsis of writing and like realizing the visions I've always wanted to realize with the music, and it's hard work, but I wouldn't want to pin that on anyone else if it's like my vision, like you know what I mean? So,
But so it's you. So I'm saying like as far as like an idea comes, right? So for this
oh,
record,
sorry.
yeah. So
Yes.
for like let's say the first song, right? So I let myself die. Like how does a song like that come about, and how do you? I mean, that's just pretty much you, I think,
Yes.
right?
So, each song is a different case. So, I Let Myself Die is a very rare case of songwriting, which is funny that you asked about that first.
Fantastic
I'll
song. Great, just like
thank you.
great opener, sets the table right into Rumination, which is a fantastic second song for the record because that first one
Yes,
really sets the table.
that's what I wanted. And it's so funny. So, I Let Myself Die is not my song, right? It's kind of nuts, but it's not a song written by me. My friend Charlie is all the other songs are. My friend Charlie is in another band with me that is not really a super active band. It's kind of ebbs and flows. It was our band in high school that we had a lot of fun with and still write songs with every now and then. It's called Here's to You. So Charlie, a few years ago, had this song like which is I Let Myself Die. He had this song and he like we were hanging out. We hang out all the time and he was just like playing around. He was like, "Yo, check out this what I just wrote this." And Charlie has a project for a lot of his like EDM and electronic music type of stuff. And he doesn't have any like project that or whatnot that like falls under like just an acoustic singer songwriter umbrella. And like I love Charlie to death. Sometimes he'll sit on songs though for a while. And I was annoying him for years. I was like, dude, like I put that song out. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like,
Yeah.
I'll help. I'll record it. I'll do whatever. It's such a good fucking good song, dude. And it's like perfect. And also is in this really cool guitar tuning that's unique that he showed me. And that's the same tuning that I wrote Rumination with. So
Oh,
like
wow.
Rumination is
Interesting.
yeah, so that because my guitar was in that tuning, I wrote Rumination, and then I was like,
Ha!
I don't know,
That's great.
years down the line, I was like, dude, this song that you've been sitting on for years would be the perfect opener for my record. I was like, I'll record it, I'll record your voice on it. It's him singing on it. I'll record it, well, you'll sing on it. I'll do some little production, like just little ear candy things. I'll mix it, I'll do everything, and I'll give you pretty much like 99 or 95% of the money, right? And you keep it, but I want it on my record because it's like the perfect opening piece to this fall concept, right? This
Amazing.
fall
Yeah.
emotion, fall autumn feeling. And so he was down, and I was like stoked about that. And yeah, that's pretty much how that song came about. But it's super rare circumstance because I have my hands in like writing almost every single other Secret Garden song besides
Yeah.
this particular one.
Yeah. I mean,
So
it makes sense. And
yeah,
like you said, like it's cool that like the tuning inspired you to write the next song. And the one thing about
yes,
Rumination, which I really like, is all the instrumentation fits. Like there's so much going on, but they all sit so nicely together, right?
yeah, that
Just
was the
like
goal. I wanted
yeah.
it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's busy, but everything is like working so fucking well together that that's the one thing about songwriting, man. I'll tell you, we're a six piece, so everyone's kind of like trying to figure out where they belong in the song, and it's
It's hard
something.
to do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's hard to do, man. And I don't know. So rumination. The goal of that song was a few things. And yeah, like I said, this every song usually has an objective in my brain, and then that determines the way I write the song. So this song, what I wanted it to have vocals halfway through. I wanted it to start like pretty much sounding like a normal Secret Garden song, and then it like breaks for a second and comes down, and then like I start singing, which people haven't really heard before, and I wanted their reaction to be like, "Oh shit, what the hell? He's singing." Um, yeah, so that was that, and then I
The
wanted
vi-
it to be like complicated but pretty, if that
mm.
makes sense.
No, no, yeah,
I
for
try to
sure. Yeah,
I try to strike that.
everyone has, especially on this whole record, right? You could have chops and make it not accessible or pleasing to the ear, or you could have chops and make it sound really nice. And this album captures just really great playing that goes beyond just the average, three chord, like, hey, I'm gonna write this like really cool pop song, to like we're like really thinking about these compositions. And Rumination also has a video, so just tell me a little bit about that, because I thought it looked pretty cool. Like, so who filmed it and all that other shit.
Yeah, it was filmed by a friend of mine named Chris Cole.
Mm.
He also did the video for Sunrise Joyride, which is on Everbloom, the spring record. Um, yeah, that came from just me wanting to, I don't know, I wanted something fancy looking that fit like the kind of like ballroom, fancy, like autumn introspective vibe. It like has a waltz, but it doesn't because it's like a quintuplet kind of weird feel of a song. Um, so yeah, I was like, why don't we just put on a bunch of suits, rent out half of a mansion for a day, and just film us playing the
Oh,
song?
interesting. So where was
And
the mansion?
and then it was in Philly. It was in Philly where Chris is based. So we all drove to Philly, brought all our gear, set up in a few different spots in the place, and then I bought a ton of fake autumn leaves, and we used those for props. So like we were throwing them around, right, and like getting slow motion shots with the autumn leaves, and like putting them on the floor and like dressing them up. And I got like some candles. I just wanted it to be a vibe, and for a good way for you to see the band and the awesome people who play with me. Because prior, like in Everbloom, when I was rolling out Everbloom, it wasn't as much of like an established thing. But now with this record, The Impermanent Amber, there is more kind of like a regular lineup of guys who play with me. So I wanted to showcase those.
And
And yeah,
videos are just a lot of fun, right? So
yeah.
if I feel like someone always has a friend. Like, we're shooting a video on Sunday, right? I think
Hmm.
we have a mutual. Do you know James Morano?
Yes, yeah, dude. You're shooting it with him?
Oh yeah. So he's done.
Yeah,
I
tell him I
think
say
he's
what's up, dude.
Yeah, he's done like maybe two or three videos for us at this point. So he's like, I got an idea, but you got to come to my house. And I'm thinking like, fuck yeah. I'm like, you're a
He's such
fucking
a dude. He's such a guy. He's such
yeah.
a silly guy. I love him.
Yeah, yeah, we vibe well. We're both fucking Neanderthals for sure. But that's the beauty, right? Like, you're able to like take control of another part of like being this artist. It's like, okay, like, we have this record, we have these songs, and now we can make a video. Where sometimes, in the past, like, that wasn't the case. It was just such a luxury to be like, all right, we're going to film one video and all this other stuff. And now it's like technology is like, you could sit there, even with CapCut, if you really wanted to basically learn it.
True.
And it's amazing, like, you just put together. It's nice to have like the short minute videos for everything on Instagram and all that other shit, but then you have like the two or three proper ones for the albums, and it really adds to like the vibe of everything. So
Yeah,
um
it was fun to do. Very fun.
So another one. So, like, was it MT, or right? That's the name of the song, right?
Yeah, and Montana MT, whatever you want to call it.
Oh,
That's the like state.
Montana makes sense. I just wanted to say one thing that really stuck out to me. So, Vienna, that's the name of the girl on the song. What a great
Viana,
chorus!
yeah, Viana.
What a
Oh, thank
great!
you. Thank
Oh
you.
my God, what a great chorus! Her voice sounds fantastic on it. But
This
like,
she
that might
is
have been,
incredible.
yeah,
She's
that might have
one of
been
my
like,
one of my best friends.
that's the sleeper of the album. I think it's just such a great chorus, and for me, like I'm a big chorus fan, you know.
Thank you. Yeah, I we worked hard on that one, and it also just came so naturally. I That song just like I don't know if you can feel like the emotion pouring out of that one or if you like analyzed it lyrically or whatever, but um yeah, that song came from a lot of like very real human emotions that only someone like Viana could relate to because she's been to Montana before in Glacier where which is what I'm talking about in the song a lot in my experience there. And she visited me during that time, so it's like there was only one person I could have sung that stuff with. And also like she was my roommate for like a year and a half or so and was like one of my best friends in the world and I love her to death. And it was just perfect. Like I've never gotten to like do a proper like duet with her, even though like it's weird. Like I produced a bunch of her records and recorded them and mixed them and stuff. So
Oh,
we
did
never
you?
like worked
Okay.
on a song. Yeah, a bunch of her music I've worked on, and like we were never like on a song together. And I was like, girl, let's just like fucking sing me and you and go
Oh
for
yeah.
it. And it just
No.
she wrote her verse and sounded so good. And I didn't even have any notes. She just sent me a voice memo. I was like, dude, what? Okay. Yep, that's going on there. All good. Like
T
it
tell
was
me
just perfect.
tell me about the production stuff. Like, so you produce stuff for other people too?
Yeah, here and there. When I have time and I'm like off tour, I love working with other artists that inspire me and whatnot. And I was living with Viana for a hot minute and making a bunch of her records and stuff, and we had a lot of fun doing it. And that's just kind of more pop music, honestly. And it was cool to like sit in a different world, mix some stuff for other people here and there throughout the years. It's not like I love touring a lot. At this stage of my life, I'm still really enjoying it. So I haven't like really went hard into like, yo, I'm gonna be the studio guy and have my studio and have bands come to my studio and make records and stuff. Maybe one day I'll kind of be at that point. I do love writing songs with people though, and it's something
Yeah,
I love
no.
to do when I'm home.
Songwriting is the best. You know, it's I try to, yeah, I write every day, so it's like
Hmm.
I love the art of it. If currently we're in like pre-production for some songs now. What I found out last year for us, like I think we had more success dropping singles because we're not a touring band.
Right.
We'll play occasionally, so it's like okay, like asking somebody for 3.5 minutes of their time, you know, every 6 weeks seems to work out better for us than being like, hey, here's like an album. So that's interesting too, right? You put out an album. What do you think of that contrast, as far as singles, EPs, and full lengths?
It's kind of about the audience you are trying to go for. I think the like post-rocky kind of world does better with albums, but
Hmm.
singles are cool too, or even like EPs are fine. There's nothing wrong with throwing out singles. They do get more attention. I've found that that's true, just because they're less to digest. But the I found that I wanted to attract more of the album type listener, and someone who's going to really sink into a concept of, oh, there's four records and for each four seasons, I can listen to this as like a piece to be my companion through my experiences of, spring or summer or autumn.
Without
So
a
I don't
doubt,
know.
from no, for without a doubt, from this last record for sure, it's like that makes sense. You can't just hear like Sky Island as a single and be like, oh, okay, cool, cool, and then the next song, it's like, okay, like 6 weeks from now, like, the mule comes out or something, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. I'm an album track guy. I love album tracks. But singles are sick too. I might, now that I've put out all these records, besides the re-record that I want to do, I mean, I'm not trying to put out a long-winded album for a long time until I feel really inspired to do so. So. I am gonna probably start working on some shorter releases, which I'm pretty stoked about. I have some ideas cranking here and there, but I'm also trying to like take my time with it. So yeah, it's there's nothing wrong. Both are valid. I just think to really like envelop and push this like, hey, this is the season and this is what it sounds like, and here's like your companion through, I don't know, your like if you're driving in New England in October and the leaves are turning and it's gorgeous, like there you go. Listen to the Impermanent Amber. Like here you go. I wanted to give that to people because, and I also, I'm gonna be honest with you, I wanted to give it to myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I wanted to listen to it myself. So I worked
Without
on it and
Without a doubt. And so you're an album guy. Just out of curiosity, just to get, because to me, like I'll hear like, minus the Bear, Death Cab, like those are like some of the influence that I hear, but maybe you might not even listen to those bands.
oh,
But
yep. You're
okay.
hitting the nail there.
All right, so so maybe I'll see you at the Minus the Bear reunion shows. Um,
Yeah, I would love to go to those. I need to listen to them more further, but everything I've heard from them is sick.
okay,
Our
yeah,
guitarist Jared,
yeah, yeah. That
he loves
the,
them.
the one album that they're celebrating, which is Menos Celoso, which is just minus the bear in Spanish. That's like that's the banger one for sure. And I know Death Cab celebrating plans, I think, at Brooklyn Paramount for a couple of days and shit.
I need to go to that so badly. I'm a
Yeah, yeah.
huge Death Cab fan for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Huge Death Cab fan.
I thought I would miss Chris, but they seem to be doing kind of okay without him for sure. But I mean, I celebrate the catalog. So I want to ask you specifically just because I want to get like a feel for the things that you grew
Hmm.
up on, right? So if I asked you for five albums that mean the world to you, what would they be?
This is gonna be out of left field, but it's hard to choose five. Like
Yeah.
I don't even feel like five is the full scope, but um, the Fall of Troy's Manipulator, um, Carly Rae Jepsen, Emotion, amazing album. Uh, Now Threads, incredible album. Um, I really I really loved Sean's first album, and I found like it really like made me like get back into that kind of music again. Uh, I would say Plans is definitely up there. Um,
Would you say that's your
Ty-
favorite of their catalog?
Death Cab.
Yeah, or
Oh,
Transatlantic
it's a
says.
dude. I've only re. It's like a tie between Plans and Narrow Stairs,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then Transatlanticism is just a
yeah,
little bit of that. But
yeah.
it's only because I've like started only in the past like 2 years I've really started to appreciate the beauty of transatlanticism.
Oh
I think
yeah, yeah.
it took a while for me to like grow into it. But I started on Plans because that was like when I started really listening to music was when that record came out.
Okay.
And I've always loved that record for many, many
And
years. And
Narrow
then now
Stairs did it that have you're a tourist?
no, that was Codes and Keys, I think.
Oh,
Narrow
you're right.
Stairs
Yeah.
had like it had like Kath and I
I'll
will
possess
possess
your
your
heart. Yeah,
heart
yeah.
on it.
Great.
Yeah,
Oh my God. When they do that live, it's just that fucking oh my
dude,
God. So
that's a
good.
post rock song. That's a
Oh,
post rock song.
I fucking love that shit. Yeah.
People don't like Death Cab is very post rock inspired. They're
Yeah, yeah.
like people don't realize that. Um, they even when they played MSG, they had Explosions in the Sky open for them, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah.
they got their hands in that post rock world a little bit, and people don't
Well,
realize it, which is
they
why I
have
love
they
them.
have they have such I mean huge career that
Yeah.
they cover a lot of ground and they still do their thing and to think that on top of that this dude steps out and then does the postal service album on top of that where you're
Hmm.
just like
Yeah,
you're a
I
fucking
saw that
genius.
tour. That was
Yeah,
an amazing show. That was an
me too.
amazing show.
Yeah, those songs are just fantastic.
Uh,
I did ask you
love
what your
them.
favorite lyricist was, and you didn't tell me. I don't know if you had one or two, so I didn't want to skip
Ben
over that
Gibbard.
question. Okay.
Yeah, Ben Gibbard. definitely either one or two. And I really like this kind of might sound a little weird. I like Owl City, Adam Young, at least like his earlier catalog. I think his lyrics are really good. Recently I've started to really enjoy Vessel from Sleep Tokens like lyricism and how like it's so easy to be cringe when you're trying to be dark and like gothy, but it's not cringe and it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Um and then yeah, I would say Ben Gibbard is the number one for me though.
And
Lyric
and, and
just lyric wise.
as far as melody to lyric, right? Like both equally important or one more than the other?
Um a great melody can sell a shitty lyric any day.
Yeah, without a doubt.
uh Without a doubt. I'm the wrong guy to ask, dude. I hear lyrics like almost last,
Yeah.
unless it's like really, really like what they want you to hear it. I hear lyrics are like the last thing I try to evaluate on a song. Not that I don't love them and don't appreciate them, but some people hear songs and they just hear the lyrics and they're just concerned about the lyrics
I'm a
first.
melody guy.
Like yeah, and that well, like my fiance is super super into lyrics and loves like lyricism and all the beautiful things you can do with words. And that's what she listens to when she hears a song, like first and foremost. And I'm like black pilled on this. I hear like the production that's like, oh, when does the synth pad come in? And like, oh, those drums
Synth
are
pad.
sick. I wonder what overheads they use. Like,
Yo,
you
the
know, dumb
synth pad. That is so,
yeah.
so we're having this discussion. Uh I mean, I will tread lightly, but yeah, like, I really want our keyboard player to do more synth pads, for choruses and stuff like that. And I think
They're
sometimes
pretty good.
I think sometimes we might have that. I mean, he'll do whatever, but yeah, a good synth pad. Are you kidding me? Fuck
They
yeah.
they can add a world to the mix, which is like literally like that like a good pad can really just like dive you deep into a song and the meaning
Blast you off,
behind it.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's what I at least from making records.
so I wanted to ask you one last thing, which I thought was interesting. You have a live album and you recorded it elsewhere?
Yeah, that was a fun thing to throw on Spotify. We had a show where we played Everbloom, the spring record in its entirety. And that I mean that recording at some points is rough only because like we played the best we could, but I mean there was just like minor fuck ups in our playing. But some of the songs turned out really good and the recording like it was kind of a like summed like stereo left right mix that I was able to make sound pretty good. The sound person did really good that night. I don't even want to
I
throw
mean,
any
that
shade there at all.
that
The
place is
sound person
amazing.
did really
Yeah.
good. And it was hard to it's hard to do. Like just running sound and then like getting everyone's recording ready and it's not easy thing to do, especially if you're just hiring someone for a one-off and they're not like your sound person that like
With
tours
it,
with you
yeah,
or whatever.
without a doubt.
So they did a great job. But yeah, there was a few songs from that performance that turned out really well, and like all things considered, I was able to go in and like master it a bit and beef it up, and I was like, yeah, let me throw the good songs on Spotify, and pretend that the bad ones didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, very cool. I mean, I just what a cool venue. I've seen a lot of fun shows
I
there.
love that place, dude. I love
Yeah,
it there.
I saw the last Jedi Mind Trick show there. Shout out to Vinny
Nice.
Paz.
I used to live around the block from there.
Oh, really? Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, this was a great chat. I'll put the links to the album. Wanted to touch base with you and shout out to Big Picture Media. And I will see
Yeah.
you, Greg, man. We'll hang. I'll swing by the VFW. I'll meet you in
That'd be
person.
amazing, dude. I'd love to see you and we can chat more and whatnot. It'd be cool to hang, man. Thanks for
Absolutely.
having me on.
Yeah, for sure. This was really cool, and the album's great. It's
Thank you.
really like, I mean, 11 songs that are just like, I did a deep dive on it, and it's pretty impressive. Like, it's just like I said, the instrumentation, the songs, it's pretty top tier songwriting. So congratulations.
Thank you. I did it with a lot of great help, but it was a fun project to oversee.
Well, the fucking team killed it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'll pass the word along.
All right, Greg. I'll see you on the 17th.
All right. Peace out.
Later.